I recently picked up this GoPro Max, and let me tell you, you need one of these for behind the scenes content. Actually, you don't. You don't really need anything. Also, don't fall into the social trap of other people telling you that you need things, especially to buy things. But if you were in the market for a device to help film, record your behind the scenes content, or just content in general, this thing is super compact, easy to use, and this is the way to go. It's the GoPro Max. It's pretty straightforward. It gives you a different perspective than, say, your phone or pretty much any other camera. We're going to jump right into it. I picked this up about 8 months ago, or maybe it was a year, actually. Anyway, I picked this up initially and mainly for hockey content, for my NHL stuff, different perspective of the arena, the crowd, also to film myself while shooting, since as a sports photo and video, I am locked in on the action. You know, this day and age, it is also all about showing yourself doing the thing and not necessarily what you're doing, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's more about you doing the thing than the thing you're doing. I don't know. You probably get it. If not, don't worry about it. It's not that important. I initially picked this up for hockey content. Hockey season ended. I was going to return it, but then I decided, well, let's shoot other things with it. Let's make the most of it. Then I decided to not return it. Price. I spent around $500 for the GoPro Max. I picked up a second battery. It's always good to have multiple batteries. We all know that. Came in this little pouch, which I always just throw it in. 2 covers for your lens when not in use and protectant. Also, to be transparent with y'all, I put that on Afterpay. Afterpay, Klarna, those services that are based on payment plans, those are your best friend. That and credit cards. We in this society have come so used to seeing things online that it's X amount of money and think that you need to go out and spend the full amount. No. If they have services like Afterpay and Klarna, I forgot the third one that comes to mind, but obviously it doesn't come to mind. You get what I'm saying? So if they have services like that, use them to your advantage. There's no sense in dropping $500 upfront on something that A, you may return, and B, it's there for you. These services can be a tool if used wisely. I just don't want y'all to get the wrong impression. As I mentioned earlier, don't fall into the social trap. If you don't have the funds right now, or you're waiting on those invoices to hit, we all know Net 60 is a bitch. Afterpay, baby. Let's start with how easy it is to use. Power it on, hit record. Super easy. I should let this run for a second and get the secondary footage in which I'm talking about. I have it set to record in 5K video. I don't bother with stills option or time-lapse option. Great option to have, but I just haven't had a use for it. The photo option is obsolete for me since that's not why I bought it. I just haven't been in a situation to use the time-lapse feature. I flick it on, record what I need, help tell the story, and then move on. The fact that you don't need to power it on to record is clutch in those fast environment situations. You just hit the record button on top here, and it starts recording almost immediately with your pre-existing settings from which you left off. One thing to note, before setup for a game night or whatever I'm doing, I do make sure that it is on the video settings and not photo or time lapse. When it's powered on and you hit the power button, it will toggle through those 3 modes. Just be sure that you didn't accidentally hit that. Once you're done recording, it has a 5-minute limit on it. So if there has been no activity on it for 5 minutes, it will automatically power down, which is great. I've forgotten it numerous times when I have it mounted on my camera and I record action, then stop recording, forget to turn it off, or I just let it go and then it'll turn itself off because I'm doing other things while shooting in the moment. That is another great feature that it has. Give you the beep, give you the red light. Oh no, I lied. It does turn on. I thought it didn't turn on for a second. Anyway, again, you don't see your settings, but you do see your battery life, memory card, and that it is recording. If you're not aware and you flick it on, you may have accidentally hit photo or time lapse. That is something to pay attention to. I'm not going to talk too much about specs of this camera. More so just going to talk about my workflow. You can find the specs and all the nitty gritty on a million other videos. So I am just going to keep to my own personal experience and workflow. I did scratch both the front and back camera already, which is a bummer, but it's all good. It is an action camera and it's not like it hinders the footage itself. The footage is 5K and all, but it's definitely not the best footage there is once you get it in the computer. So I'm not too worried about it. Whereas if I did scratch the Canon R3 or this 15-35 lens, you would absolutely see the difference. It's a bummer, but I'm not too worried about it. Now I want to talk about attachments. As you see here, I have this little arm with the hot shoe mount. So this will just click on my camera, slide in the hot shoe, lock down, and now it's always on. I got an assorted pack of various heights. It comes in a 3-pack. You can just switch out what you need. I believe this company is called HSU. Found them on Amazon, GoPro mount arms. This one in particular is really good for if I'm running or something. I just kind of treat it like a selfie stick, hold on to it here. Another attachment I picked up are these clamps from Ulanzi. This is just a 2-way clamp. If I want to mount the GoPro up somewhere, I will clip it in here like so, clip it above me on a rail, wherever. In the event that I want to mount the GoPro to my small rig cage, I have this version of the Ulanzi where this 1/4-inch thread will thread into a thread on the small rig cage, and then the GoPro just goes in here. Obviously, I wouldn't have this arm on in this situation, but it'll just kind of hold the GoPro. Plenty of great options. Then we have the Quick app, which is GoPro's own app to edit your footage. They have a desktop and a mobile version. Although I've only used the mobile version 1 or 2 times. It's great and all. I can't fuck it on my phone. I can't edit things on my phone, so I don't even bother. If you're on the go, the mobile version is handy, of course, just not for me. I just can't seem to work off my phone. I do believe you have to pay for the Quick subscription. I don't remember if it was a one-time fee or monthly, but I'm pretty sure you do have to pay for it to use the service. The app is super easy to learn, upload your footage to the Quick app, scrub through, and you basically just keyframe where you want the footage to be. So keyframe that run for 5 seconds, let's say, keyframe again, and then so on and so forth. So each time you keyframe, you can move the footage to where you want. That's the main reason why I picked up a 360 camera, turn it on, hit record. I could edit it later. You also have a variety of formats to edit within the Quick app, 16:9, 9:16, so on and so forth. So once you make your first keyframe, you can then go in and tell it which format you are editing in for your export. The fact that you could not only move within the camera, move the footage, but you can turn it on its axis. A lot of possibilities there. I love it. Hence why I mentioned before, recording, just set it and forget it. It takes a micro SD card to record to. Once you take out the micro SD, you grab a SD card reader with the attachment slot, slide your micro SD into the slot, and you can just plug your SD card into your laptop or whatever adapter. Don't know if most people know that when buying the GoPro that you do need SD to micro SD adapter. Make sure to pick one of those up beforehand. This card is a 256, so I can basically be lazy and just film 2+ hours of footage. I can go through quite a few projects and just film, dump it, edit it later, and move on. Overall, I am really happy with this purchase. As I mentioned initially, I was just going to buy it for one hockey season and then return it. But as it turns out, it's actually really handy for other behind the scenes or just a very compact, non-intrusive device. I've used it in a number of situations when I don't feel like lugging a giant camera or I don't want to be intrusive and annoying. This thing has been super handy to have on me. I know there are a handful of options out there like the Insta360 and the super popular DJI Osmo Pocket. This I can mount it to on my camera, which is great. I also think that this is a lot smaller. I'm not too familiar with the DJI Pocket. I only know what I've seen on other people's stories with the tripod stick thing. So again, I could be wrong. If I didn't already have this, I probably would look into the DJI Osmo Pocket. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Just wanted to talk about one of the key components to my behind the scenes footage as of late, and just a very handy way to get secondary footage. Plus, there are so many different options and ways to use it. Put this arm with a hot shoe, I can clamp it up. You are a snowboarder or action sports guy, you can hook it to your helmet or your chest. I know they have body harnesses and whatnot, so there are endless possibilities with this thing. I just think it's a super handy and versatile tool to have in your bag. That's my 2 cents. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.